Welcome back, friends, to Watch Closely. It's a weekly show where we take a closer look at the world of movies, shows, streaming, all that good stuff. I thank you guys for joining us today. I was muted for that second, but we'll get it right one of these days. Thank you guys for joining us. I'm joined here by my friend who drives slow enough to know he drives Miss Daisy. Ernie, how you doing, bro?
Hello. I'm doing fantastic, my friend. How are you?
I'm good, dude. Happy Thursday. We're here on a Thursday. It's crazy.
Yeah,
I don't know.
on a Thursday afternoon, dude. Double cheeked up. I don't know if you ever seen that video. You ever seen that? It's like some dude who like they're interviewing him, and it's like a comedy or something. But he's talking about like he's like that he's going somewhere and he sees like this girl who he thinks is a girl with like a big old butt, and like it turned out to be his friend. Like a guy. So he's all, hey, what are you doing with all that? He's all, what are you doing with all this butt? He's all, on a Thursday afternoon, I think he says. And it was his friend, dude. It's funny, dude. But he says double cheeked up.
Oh my God.
Really hilarious, dude. But yeah, if I may. Are you double cheeked up? No, I'm just joking. Go ahead. What's up? How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, dude. We have a good show today. We finally saw Bad Boys. We're going to talk about Bad Boys. We're going to talk about the Acolyte. We're going to talk about some stuff happening at the Alamo Drafthouse. We got some Blade news. It should be a good time. Yeah, dude, I'm excited. I just want to give a quick little promo. If you guys have not subscribed yet to our YouTube channel, subscribe, follow us at Watch Closely Pod. We're on Instagram. We're on all the other ones too. On Rumble. Shout out to Rumble fans if you guys are listening on Rumble. But yeah, we're just trying to raise awareness. If you guys have friends and family you want to listen to the show, spread the words. But yeah, let's get into the news. Ernie, first of all, what have you been watching this week? Anything interesting?
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of stuff. I'm trying to see where you are. I can't see on my screen your picture, bro. There you go.
Oh,
what happened?
I think you clicked on the wrong layer.
Did I? I was like,
don't worry. I'm here, dude.
See, it's funny. We talked about this before. When you weren't here, I appreciated you way more because I'm like, man, what he does, he's the tech guy. You know what I mean?
I just click on the right thing sometimes.
You are the right thing. Friends of the cast, can I get a amen? So
sorry.
You're fine. Continue if you would like to keep singing. I've been watching like random things this week. I haven't had a lot of time. I don't know why, but like I'm still watching One Piece. I'm like at 1,000 episodes now, which is wild to say.
Oh wow!
I watched Golden Girls, which was pretty sweet, and then the other night, bro, which was last night, I was like, man, I'm in the mood for like one of my favorites, like just something that like is gonna be in the background. And I'm gonna enjoy. Were you saying something? You're muted.
No, I'm good.
Oh, okay. Okay, I was reading your lips, and you're all. I was also, either you burped.
I was breathing out. Sorry, bro. Yeah, the podcast.
It just looked hilarious.
Yeah.
No. But so I was watching. I put on the movie Bedazzled, dude. Brendan Fraser, bro.
Oh,
what a fantastic movie! I know it's not the greatest and not the funniest to everyone, but I like truly love that movie. It's one that I've always watched, and I recently purchased it like this year. I don't know why I never owned it. I owned it on like VHS and DVD at one point when I was younger, but owning it on digital is so much easier to just push and play. So I watched it 2 times this past week. I got my Oculus out. I have an Oculus Quest or Meta Quest 2 or whatever, and I don't use it because I don't charge it. But you actually, when I moved into this house, bought me this like surge protector that's like to the wall in my bedroom, and I forgot that it has a USB-C connector, and so I was like, oh my gosh, I could charge my Quest on it because the whole thing is like I don't know where to charge it, where to put it. So I charged it that other night, dude. Put on the Quest, put on YouTube on it, and I was watching because YouTube has this. Well, I have this thing called Movies Anywhere, so it goes to like YouTube, Amazon Prime.
Yeah, it connects all your movies
to everything, right? Yeah, Voodoo or whatever. But I put it on and I was watching Bedazzled on Oculus, and you can make the screen like close or you can make it go far. Dude, it was a lot of fun, bro. I was like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, how do I lay down in bed and do this? And apparently there's like an accessibility like thing you can switch on, and it'll let you lay in bed now with Oculus. If you guys didn't know that, I did not. So I'm like, dude, I'm gonna watch that movie tonight and be like this to see what's up. But then put it on over here. I want to watch. So I ended up putting it on TV or watching it last night as well. But that was a lot of fun. And
When
then
I first got my Oculus too, we tried to do a movie night, like me and my wife. Like I got one for her too, and I didn't realize you can't. Maybe you can now, but I like since when we first got them, I would want to like watch a movie with her and like be in the same environment, and it was like a weird janky experience. And it's like, how cool will it be? Like maybe the Vision Pro has done this, where you can just kind of walk into somebody else's peripherals and like just see what they're seeing, and like be able to be
I
like,
see.
you want to have movie night and just play it, and it's like this
But
giant.
you know what you
massive
could have
screen.
done too?
There's probably a way.
No, yeah, I think there's an easier way, and I don't know if you've tried this where you just put it on a TV.
You could just watch it on the screen.
That's great.
It's
in the same vicinity. No, sorry, that was stupid.
If you want that experience, keep the chairs up.
Yeah. There used to be this really cool experience, and I've only done it a handful of times with a couple of friends of mine. But when Netflix was on Xbox 360, there was this thing. I think I might have done it with you. You would get your little avatar character, your little avatar that you would create to kind of look like you or whatever, and you would start this like theater kind of experience, and all your friends can join that experience on Netflix, and your little characters would sit next to each other in like these little cinema seats. I mean, sorry, theater seats. And it would, and you could do like little things like where you're getting popcorn or something like that. I forget. But do you recall this?
That's cool. Yeah, I remember this. Yeah, and then you can chat. Wasn't there like a live chat? And then if you pause it, everybody would get paused. Yeah,
I think so.
That's pretty cool.
You could do it now with like Disney Plus. You can like stream a movie together. Like you can watch from separate rooms and do that. That is a thing. But yeah, that was a lot of fun, dude. I remember having a great time doing that. But going back to the movies. So I ended up, or to what I've watched. So I ended up watching that. I watched Bad Boys, which we're gonna get into, and then of course I had to continue to watch Star Wars Acolyte, episode 3. So you guys don't have to. Just kidding. That sounds really mean, huh? What was that? You're muted.
I was gonna say, or you can hate watch it like a lot of people are doing, right? Like they're hearing it so bad, they're like, I gotta watch this, gotta check it out.
And that's awesome.
It's quite the episode.
I'm wondering if like, because, well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, we say that, but like maybe the majority of people like it. Who the heck knows? But I'm wondering if like the people that are hate watching it is gonna. That's true. I'm wondering if the people that are hate watching it because they're hate watching it, it's gonna look like it's doing really well, and because they speak numbers, not criticism, they're gonna do it. Like Velma did pretty bad, right? Like people didn't like.
Yeah, Velma. They hate watched it in the first season, and then season 2. I think. I mean, I'm curious what the numbers are for season 2. I haven't really followed up on it.
Yeah, I was talking to, well, I always talk to friend of the cast, Lex, and he was saying something cool. Well, not cool, but something that like I thought it was interesting. And I was telling him about Star Wars Acolyte, and I was telling him my review of it and like what I thought about it. And like I was like, well, I know you're not a big fan of most Star Wars things. He's watched like Boba Fett. I think he like has one more episode, he was saying, and then he's watched like season 1, 2, or 3 maybe of The Mandalorian. I had to double check on that. I forget. But he was talking about it, and he was like, people on Twitter and everywhere are saying like, or X, right? Star Wars is ruined. Like it's over. Like they've killed Star Wars, right? And he's like, no, it's not ruined. It's not killed for me. I haven't watched those shows, so I don't know what's going on. Like, and I was like, that's so true. It's like, it's the ignorance is bliss sort of idea of that he's having, and I was like, that's pretty neat. Like, it's like, I always talk about the Matrix, right? Like, had I not watched the Matrix Resurrections, I still would have had 3 great the Matrix movies, and I still do, but because the 4th one's out, I was like, I know that it's there and it's tainted something I love. You know what I mean?
That's true.
And I don't know if that, it's like what, like Cypher says that, right? He goes, I'm here eating a steak. Remember in the Matrix?
And he's like ignorance is bliss. And
the harp.
The harp, yeah.
He's like, I want to be someone important. I want to be an actor. You know, but
oh, see, that's a good movie, right? See, when we can quote it, I can't quote Resurrections at all. Like I don't remember.
Yeah, I can. Only one line.
Well, you've seen it 3 times, right?
I have, but Neil Patrick Harris in the trailer has this freaking awesome line. And I thought dude, the trailer for that movie is freaking awesome. Great trailer. I love watching it. It's a great trailer.
It is a great show.
It's not a good movie though. And in the trailer he goes, he's all, "You seem particularly triggered today," or something. He says something like that, triggered, and it sounds so sweet, dude. But the way he says it, I'm like, gosh darn it, he's good. And then you watch the movie, and you're like, I'm triggered.
I'm sorry, bro. We can never get that back. It's just that once you've seen it. But they're talking about another one, right? They're talking about either a reboot or something.
Yeah, I saw that. I think it's gonna be.
It's a cool world. Yeah, I feel like it's a cool world they could explore. That's how I feel about Star Wars right now, right? It's a cool world, and I like being in the world, but it just seems like they need to either reboot or something. I don't know. Like the ones that they used to be, it's just a different world now.
The ones that got away. Little Katy Perry for you. Friend of the cast Lex was telling me that too. He's like, why don't they make things in the Star Wars universe that aren't canon, right? Which I was like, oh well, that does make sense, but it's like could the Acolyte have been canon or not canon, and then it would have been better, like received better? Or you think because it's not canon, it would have been like, well, it's not canon, so it doesn't matter? Because like I was telling him this, I was like, because it is canon, it sort of spoils the things we have gotten, because they're trying to sort of rewrite or recreate what's already been, the standard of Star Wars. I mean, we're going to get into this in the review, but like essentially Anakin being the chosen one in the way that they describe his birth isn't special anymore. And and I think that like people took umbrage with that. They were like, well, what's going on here? Like, well, why are we doing this? Why are we changing George Lucas's work? Again, I mean, like, I don't really care for the show. Maybe someone does. I don't want to talk crap, but it just kind of like, it just makes you be like, man, this is really stupid. Like, why would you do this? Like, I get it, pushing your agenda of whatever you're trying to do, but it's like, you could have done it whilst, keeping the lore intact. Right.
Yeah, you have so much to play with, and it's a shame that they wasted it on that. Like, it's like, how much money did you get per episode, and how much resources were at your disposal? And this is what you could come up with. It's like, come on, the fans deserve better. I mean, what little fans they have, right? Like anymore. Like, I feel like a lot of people are just. I mean, some people are hardcore Star Wars, right? Like, they will always like have the torch for Star Wars, but some people are just checked out, right? They're not some people won't even watch this because they've been burned on other stuff.
Yeah, I've noticed, like, I mean, again, this is X or Twitter, right? I've noticed recently, people who were the hardcore fans, even the people that are like, hey, or whatever, like that are like super, all out, or like, I love Star Wars, all this thing. Like, I've seen those people now burnt out. Like, they genuinely are like done. Like I think they've gotten to the point where they can't comprehend like what Star Wars has become. You know what I mean? Because it's changed in such a way that the identity of Star Wars is gone. It isn't there anymore. And it's kind of sad because like I feel like you're never gonna get that again. And I was telling you this the other day. My theory was, what if they're trying to ruin Star Wars so badly that once it gets so bad, they just are gonna stop with everything in the Star Wars canon, and then like years of it, we're not gonna get anything, which I highly doubt because they want to mine the crap out of the IP. But like, we're not gonna get years of it, and then eventually it's gonna be like, here's Star Wars again, the reboot. Or something, you know what I mean? Like, where it's like, let's kill the original. Like, let's not have you ask for the Skywalker saga again. You know what I mean?
It's gonna be weird because there, like I was saying, there are those tried and true Star Wars fans that will always be there, and it's like somebody online was likening it to like if you had a favorite toy, like Buzz Lightyear or Woody or whatever, right? And like you gave it to them to play with, and they basically were like running it over with their truck. They were like grinding it, chewing on it, spitting on it, whatever. And then they have to get, like, you have to take it back, right? Because eventually they'll be done with it. They're like, there's nothing else we can do. We're not making money with this IP. Here, you can take it back. And then the fans have to deal with this, completely destroyed toy. And it's like, this was the thing I loved. And this is what you've left me with. And it's sad, right? It's like, yeah, it's like respect the toys.
Yeah, I think I don't know if we're gonna get into the Acolyte review here, but I feel like we were kind of warned, right, about everything that was gonna happen in terms of Star Wars. There was a big push, and like a lot of like I feel like maybe I'm pretty sure people have noticed, and there's gonna be YouTubers who talk about it or have talked about it, but like we were warned that this was gonna happen. Like we got the Force is female, right? That was like a big push. We got the Ray Palpatine, like there were and all that accumulation of like the Jedi are the evil. Like there is no more light and dark side. There's this gray area. You know what I mean? Like there was like a lot of that going forward. I think they try to do that with they try to keep that same sort of tonality of the originals where Darth Vader was a dark man, right? He did so much evil that it could not be redeemed. At the end, obviously he kills Palpatine, or did he kill Palpatine? You know what I mean? Like I don't
Yeah.
know.
Right.
Somehow he returned, right? But like, was that sort of thing that he did? Like, was that the redeeming quality of this character, right? And now we get characters who are trying to recreate that, but it's like they don't have a light or dark side. There's just a gray area of what they're trying to accomplish. Like we get these like these these witches or whatever that they are, and they're essentially tell you there's no more force that binds us. It's a thread that binds us. And the crazy thing is that they tell you, yeah, there's this thread, and it's gonna show you your destiny. But you don't have to go through. That's not. But that doesn't mean you have that destiny always written. But it's like they're telling you that the destiny is there. I'm like, what are you saying to me right now? Like, what are you saying to me? Because like, if you remember, like Yoda tells Anakin, I'm sorry, Luke Skywalker tells him that his destiny is to fight his father and kill him. What ends up happening? He changes his destiny. He fights his father. He does not kill him.
Yep. That's
You know
true,
what I
actually.
mean?
Yeah.
Where's that thread?
Where's the thread?
Where's the thread?
I thought the force was supposed to bind us and was all around us.
No. That's one. It's I
Yeah.
mean, if I may, the power of one, the power of two, the power of many, my friend. Many. The way they do it, many.
It's
You know
so
what I'm talking
terrible.
about?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
one of the girls cackles when they're like, they try to kill us or whatever. And he's like, or something.
He goes, yeah. Okay.
How do you want us to like these characters and feel bad that they died? I'm sorry, but it's like, how are we supposed to like them when they're clearly evil? Like you've made a mistake here because the whole sorry, I'm gonna go on this rant. The whole purpose of this, if this is what it's serving its purpose of like, we're trying to have women in power and all that stuff, and that's cool, whatever, right? But it's like, if that is your like goal, why make them look this evil? Like, why not write them much better? Like, why not give them a redeeming quality? Them being mothers didn't do anything. So when they died, you're like, well, who cares? They're dead.
Right.
I just
Well, okay. So
sorry, I just want to rant.
no.
Box office.
I feel like we should just start off with this because it's fresh off on our brains, right? So let's get into the Acolyte here. So I will just say right off the bat that we had a Forbes article that said Acolyte Episode 3 review was one of the most disappointing Star Wars episodes ever made, and I think a lot of people's sentiment was similar. Let me pull up the article real quick right here. So Eric is written by Eric. So it says the third episode of Disney's The Acolyte is an embarrassment to the entire franchise. Though the same should be said about much of the Star Wars these days, outside of Andor and the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian. Here's one exchange between the 2 characters in the latest episodes. May, Jedi are bad? Oh wait, what am I showing you? Oh, there we go. Jedi are bad? Osha, Jedi are good? Later, the 2 characters, the twin protagonists, antagonists of the story, as children in the flashback episode, say, to one another, "What have you done? What have you done? What have you done?" I want to ask Disney the same question. What have you done? The entire episode is a joke. We learn May, and then it goes into like the actual description. And I think we're gonna get into it, but Ernie, do you agree with what they're saying, or do you like? How do you feel when you were watching this episode? What were your thoughts?
What was the question? What did I feel of what?
Like what? Because he says, I wanted to ask Disney the same question. What have you done? And then because he feels like this entire episode was a bad joke. Did you feel like it was a bad joke?
It definitely, you know what it feels like, and I was so I watched it, and then I was like, well, let me let this marinate in the mind, right? And I was thinking about it after I watched it, and I'm like, this feels like a bad dream. Like when you have a dream, and it involves something that you love, and then you start kind of seeing it, like it's not the same. It's a little wonky. This is what it felt like. It felt like it was a bad dream. Like this can't be real. Like I'm still shocked at what I've seen, and I think it's because the lore for Star Wars was like we said, it's been so heavy in terms of what George has already cultivated in terms of like everything, right? Like we already know Jedi good, Sith bad. You know what I mean? Like
and there are ways to like show it from a different perspective, right? Like I think there was a Star Wars game a long time ago where
Force Unleashed.
It was The Force Unleashed, where you could play as the Republic, right? Like you could play as one of the.
Oh, that you're talking about Old Republic. You're talking about the Star Wars, the RPG one, right?
It might have been, or X-Wing. I don't remember, but you could basically play through the story as if you were on the side of the dark side, right?
The Empire.
On the Empire, and it's like there's ways to do it, but this way they're trying to push it as if you're watching a group of women trying to be on the good side and the Jedi are on the evil side, but their actions are clearly not in favor of the girls, right? Of the twins, and it's so strange, bro. Should we just kind of go like scene by scene, or how would you feel? What would you like to do?
That sounds cool. Is this the whole show? Jeez, I'm super down to go scene by scene. This is awesome. I didn't know we could do this.
I'm not gonna play it. I'm just gonna skip through.
No, you can skip through, but I feel like right now Bob Iger's looking at me, and he's got
one eye on the screen, and he's got daggers for you on the other.
Yeah, dude, you know what I mean? Like I'm scared. I don't know what to do.
So the twins, May and Osha, right? The last we see them, they finally see each other, and then I forget what happens. Like anyway, but then this episode, it cuts to 16 years earlier, right? And then the little girls are little kids now, and we see now it's not loading. Maybe it wasn't meant to be. Bob got a hold of us.
He saw you, dude. He's like, dude.
Oh, we're getting a little bit. Well, anyway, you can set it up for us. So like it starts off in the woods, right? And then there's this little like alien creature or whatever, right? And she uses the Force to like grab it, and she's like holding it there, and then she lets it go. And then her sister out of nowhere, she's like, how did you know I was here? And it's like
because I saw you.
You're right here.
Because I have two eyes.
Right. You're like, clearly.
How else do you think I saw you? But it makes sense. It's just the way the context is. It doesn't work. Obviously, it's like they're like twins and they have their little twin magic, but it's like, man, that's so poorly written. Where it's like,
yeah. And then the other girl holds it, and like I think you can see it here. Like she ends up doing the Force hold, and she's holding the little thing as well. And then she's like, "Stop it!" And it's like, you just did it. Like you just did it yourself. Why are you telling her to stop it? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
She's we got a James Dunn says, I know it's difficult to get child actors, but May and Osha weren't good. Even the kids from The Creator were amazing. Oh, that's true, actually. The Creator was good.
Yeah.
Did you watch Creator?
I didn't get to watch it, dude. I'm bummed out that I didn't, but yeah, dude, I agree with them. I mean, I think they had that same sentiment with Princess Leia in the Obi-Wan show. I thought she did. I thought she was good for what she was given, but I think this one is like, people were blaming. I think in the prior episode we talked about this. They were blaming the script and how they, the kids act. But I'm like, no, it's also the actor. Like they could have definitely done something completely different and sold it a certain way, right? Like the scene,
Yeah.
like it can't. It's like it can't always be just the writing. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's like
That's
we
true.
blame, like it's a combination of things in the show. It isn't just one thing. But I mean, they're kids. Like they're getting good at what their craft, and they're not going to be the best for sure. But like, I, 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 I completely agree. I think they just don't sell the characters that well.
Yeah. And I liked her. I liked Princess Leia as the actress. I thought she was okay. She was cute. She did her job well. But I feel like when they had her chasing and running through the woods, it was like so
That was
hokey. It's like
awesome.
no. Like somebody
No, they could
needs.
have.
Be like that
They
was
would
my
have got
favorite
her
part.
pretty quickly. But again,
Like,
it was that the kid, or was that the setup? You know what I mean? It's like
that's true.
the problem with a lot of movies and TV shows is that there's a lot of disbelief. Like they want you to believe that this small scrawny kid and or like guy and or girl that's scrawny takes on this big old dude that's like super buff. It's like, no, that's not how the world works. That isn't true. At least
Yeah.
give me something that I could work with. Like I always talk about this, where I'm not always, but I've talked about this before. Like Anna de Armas in the movie No Time to Die 007, right? When she's taking on all those dudes, they work with what she has, right? It's her body type is small, she's slender. Look at her taking all those dudes out, and you're like, dang, that's awesome.
Right.
And we're like, we don't get stuff like that. It kind of gets lost. It's like, no, you're gonna like this character because she,
whether you like it or not.
whether you like it or not. It's the same disbelief we get with Ray Palpatine. I mean, Ray Skywalker.
Right. She didn't earn.
She didn't earn what she got. Why was she so strong already off the bat? And again, Palpatine powers, I guess.
And it would have been so easy to just train her, right? Like we're interested in the lore of the Star Wars like Jedis and like how they become Jedis and like show it on screen. Like why can't she go through struggles?
I mean,
like
they show
every other
you
hero
training eventually when she trains with Princess Leia, but it's like
she's so good right off the bat.
That's what I'm saying. It's at this, like, I get it. She's lived by herself her whole life. I'm talking about Ray Palpatine here.
Right.
She's had to struggle. She's had to do all these things. She has a stick. Why is she able to take on a Sith Lord who's been trained by Luke?
Yeah.
Like who's trained by Emperor Snoke or whatever his name is, who is Palpatine. Like it doesn't make sense. Like again, like Palpatine powers, I guess. Like that's what you're supposed to believe, that because she has that in her, she's able to do this, and you're like, I don't know, she's powerful. She's good. She's good to go. She could take on the whole world.
Well, I don't have that clip up, Ernie. So we had to talk about. Let's get back.
My bad. Keep going.
The one thing I did think was interesting was that I didn't make the tie between this tree. Like, I guess this tree is how they derived the poison that they killed the floating dude, the floating Jedi in the episode before, where he takes a little green liquid. It comes from the tree because she says, "Isn't it dangerous?" And he's like, "Well, only if you eat it." So I guess this was the tree. And I think she references the same name. She's like, "It's from my childhood." So these are both twins in real life, right? Like they're both playing up each other. Same haircuts. Somebody mentioned like they never changed their hair. But they have this bond, right? They do the same bond that they had in the previous episode. She's saying like me is you and you is me, and then this
sounds like a Beatles song. You are me, you are me, I am,
and me is
together. But I wanted to ask you a question, but I just keep going. I'll ask it.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Please continue.
Do you think she's a Maul? Like she's from Darth Maul's? Like,
possibly.
world? She has the same similar like spikes.
She does have the little spikes, because I know Darth Maul's like brother, and I'm not sure if this is canon. He's like yellowish. He's not red and black. So I'm not sure. She could possibly be. It's crazy that she's not a. What are the witches called? The sisters.
Those 7 sisters or whatever.
Yeah, but I think they're called the sisters. I forget what they're called. But like these aren't them. They're them. Like they're like no, they're not the same. Dave Filoni said it was okay to like to not let them be Star Wars canon. Oh, Night
right.
Sisters. They're called Night
The
Sisters.
Night Sisters.
You know what I wrote? I wrote the sisters witches start wars. Trying to watch Star Wars.
The Star Wars.
Please continue.
With their spice cream. So I guess this is their little spice cream. And they're like, can I have more spice cream? So the sets look very... I know they said that they built them all practically, but I was like, they might as well have used the volume, like in this case. Like it's not... Like, where did the money go? Where did the money go?
In the hairstyles.
In the hairstyles. This is like, you know, they're talking about they're going to have to go through the ritual to become witches. And, you know, we get the first hint that, you know, this is like an all-female coven, to say, and they're talking about, oh, you know, she's young, she doesn't know what she wants. She'll because one of the May, I think it was Osha, that doesn't want to become a witch. And they're like, don't worry, she'll come around, basically. And then this is where she talks about the thread. So Ernie, what was your thoughts on the thread?
I mean, I already gave my thoughts a little bit. Like, I think it's such a like half-assed way of saying the Force. Like, she's like, some people call it the Force, we call it the thread. I get it, the binding of it, but it's like Yoda says it binds us, or who says that? I forgot who talks about it.
The Force. Yoda says this.
Yoda says it binds us.
It's all around us.
It's all around us. Yeah. And I'm like, it's the same thing, but she literally just changed it to like sound like she made it up. You know what I mean? Like it sounds like like if I were to sell you this iPhone and I was like, oh, this iPhone, it does this and this and this. I've created it, of course. Like,
it is my iPhone. Yes, it is my iPhone.
Yeah, it's my iPhone. I created it. Like, that doesn't make sense. That's how stupid that sounds. I don't know. It's just, I'm wondering if like someone who's never seen Star Wars sees this and is like, oh, this is the way to go.
But then she says that some people call it the Force and they use it as a weapon. But then she uses it as a weapon. And like the very next scene, like she's like,
she like force pushes the girls.
Yeah, and I don't know. It was so weird because what is the power of 2? It doesn't make sense, right? There's the power of 1, the power of 2, the power of many. She just pushes them equally, right? When she's doing the like force push, she does this like, you know, 2 people hold it just as long, and then she force pushes both of them. So I thought it was going to be when everyone's joining, you know, force pushing together, but it appears as if just because she's with many, she has stronger. I don't know what it is. I was trying to figure out what the difference was, right? Because the power of 1, okay, obviously you're just by yourself, right? The power of many is strength in numbers, but
how does that prove it?
How is she proving that? Yeah, how is she proving that?
It does. I don't think it does. I think because like it would make more sense if the girls were going to be able to push her back because they're using the power of 2 now.
Right. Like if they easily overtook her, that would make more sense, right?
But I don't know. I'm assuming that the girl, Osha's mom, right? I forget her name right now, off the top of my head. But I'm assuming that she is able to push the power of 2 because Jason, and hear me out, I think she has the power of many.
Oh.
And that's what you don't realize.
Is she drawing the power from everyone else, you think?
Maybe there is. I remember that there's like Sith teachings in some sort of lore, and I don't know if this is true or not, but there's one where you can, I think it's Emperor Palpatine, brother, that can do this, and it's in a book. I forget which book it is, but that's not canon, but he's able to kill people from across the darn universe by sucking their life force. And my assumption is that they're doing something like that where she is able to steal the life force and use it herself.
That's what I'm thinking.
And so I'm assuming that, and this is my assumption for this show, is that what's May, right? Is the evil one?
Yeah, I think.
Okay, so my assumption is May is going to kill these Jedis, not just because they killed her covenant, but she's going to kill them and is stealing their life force or the force to become stronger. But then like it doesn't show because she tries to kill that dude that's like whatever, like meditating or whatever, and he's like, we
Right.
didn't know what happened.
Oh, and you think like there's something that happened that we didn't see off camera where she like drained his force or something.
Yeah, maybe, but it's so stupid because like he's like blaming himself over what happened, but it's like the little girl's the one that started the fire.
Right.
Like
But see, we should get to the fire scene because I feel like I don't know. Should we just jump to
you
the
can
end?
skip it. I don't want to go through the whole freaking episode.
That's true.
I'd
It's
rather
funny
you
how
just watch the whole
it's funny how that she was. There's a lot of like weird. We were talking about the messaging, right? Like where she's like, I want to be a Jedi, and the mom's like, you're young, you don't know what you want, and then she's like,
But
basically saying,
you want this.
right.
You
She
know you
kept
want to be
saying
a
like,
witch.
oh, we want to let her choose, but then it's like you have to choose my choice, basically. And,
Have you ever seen the movie Tangled? There's a song that she sings, or at least her
yeah,
mom, so-called mother. She goes, "Mother knows best.
yeah,
Listen to your mumsies." That's what this is.
that's what it is. Yeah, it's like, oh, I love you, but then it's like you're going to do what I want. Like
Yeah,
she's
isn't this a thing that like is a common theme though? As a child, like your mother, like your mom and or like maybe dad, will like not let you do everything. Like there's not always a freedom. Like they always think they know better, best for you, which is why you rebel in your high school years, sort of. But like
yeah.
these kids are not in high school. These kids are like not even in middle school. They're like, you know what I mean? Like, no, I'm in terms of like their mindset is what I'm saying. But I don't know.
I think what Leslie Headland's trying to do in this series is trying to paint two sides that could be both seen as good or both seen as evil. I think that's what she's trying to do. She's trying to paint everything gray so that it's like, well, you could choose this way, you could choose that way. But I think because like somebody was saying, oh, they're basically manipulating, but they're forcing her to take this oath to become a witch, and she's like kind of being suckered into it. She's like, well, okay, you're my mom. Like, okay, like she doesn't want to. She wants to be a Jedi. And then you go to when the Jedi show up, and then they basically say, they ask her, "What do you want?" Right? Like, what would you like to do? And then, but there's already been that thing about you're too young to know what you want, right? Like she brought that up earlier. So it's like, do we ask them what they want, or do we know what's best for them? And it's going back and forth where it's like, well, you could ask the kid what they want, but they might want the wrong thing. So should we make them do the right thing? It's, you know what I mean? Like I feel like she's trying to play both sides.
What is right and what is wrong?
Yeah,
but
so
it's like clearly we know what's right.
But I feel like from everything the Jedi have done, they've set themselves up to be like the good guys. But then when you get to the fire, well, we should talk about this part too. Where they're basically like, we don't want you to be a Jedi, so you're gonna lie. you're gonna fake the test to get what we want, basically, to go back to. Oh man, it's weird. But let's get to it's funny because the Jedi knows right away. It's like, okay, were you told to fake the test? And then she ends up telling the truth. And he does say, he's like, you have to be strong enough or brave enough to tell the truth, right? This is a good message, right? You should be brave enough to tell the truth. But then when you get to the fire, clearly May didn't start that fire, right?
No, wait, you mean May started the fire? No, what do you mean?
But I feel like this is such a small fire that it couldn't have spread to the entire village. Like I feel like,
I don't know. We don't know because like she's like, how am I gonna do this? And like she's like, you can't stop me from being a Jedi. And she's like, I'm gonna kill you.
She's like, I'm gonna kill you. I was like, what?
It escalated so fast.
Right. Oh my gosh. And then so like this whole thing, I feel like the Jedi did this. And I feel like at the very end, it's
self-sabotage.
He's gonna contradict himself because he says you have to have the courage to tell the truth. And then when she asks what happened to her town, he says May started the fire and it got out of hand. But I feel like he's the one that's going to be revealed to not have the courage to tell her the truth, and then he's going to end up looking like the bad guy, right? Because
I see what you're saying.
Because in reality, the Jedi took them all out, and they are the bad guys. I think that's what she's trying to set up, right, for later. And it's funny enough.
Oh, that's true. That makes a lot of sense.
right? She's trying to set him up as the bad guys. And I think it's funny here how he doesn't just use the force to save both of them. He has to catch them. He has to grab them. He
Maybe
just saved her. He wasn't strong enough. Maybe he was not
maybe
trained.
he's not trained
Right.
well enough. That is crazy that you just said that. That's so true because I was trying to figure out in which way are the Jedi going to be painted in a negative light, and I kept making up assumptions in my mind where I'm like, well, they're the world police, right? Maybe not everything needs to involve the Jedi. Like maybe handle things that you should handle, and not go around the world and trying to stop everything. Um, uh, but I'm like, maybe that's what they're going for in the script, but your way of it sounds so much dumber that it sounds like that's what they would do.
Because I
You
feel
know,
like
it
it's a
just it
stone, like it's a stone building, right? It's like a stone city, and like she lights that fire in the stone doorway. How did it spread to this whole town?
you're talking about the Squid Game guy, right? That's the person, right? I forgot his name right now.
Right, because he appears out of nowhere,
Squid
right?
Game Jedi, right? And he's gonna be like, I did this to protect you. You know how his English is
Yeah,
not
yeah.
very, but
He's like,
yeah,
Osha, I was trying to protect you.
and then the sisters are gonna kill him together, and it's all.
And that's going to be the end. It's just going to be this
And then season
epic
two.
battle between Squid Game guy and one of the mothers, probably, that survives. And then that's going to be the end, right? Like he's
Yeah,
going to
because there
die.
is some like
Sith will win.
training montage videos of like things that they were doing. Remember when we were excited for the Acolyte? There was like a lot of
Yeah.
cool stuff they were showing in the like background, and we're like, oh well, look at the training they're doing. Look at all this stuff. You're gonna see a new fighting style for the Jedi because they're in such a different time. You know what I mean, or whatever. Remember that? And
Yeah,
so
I
they were
think
like
even in the
promoting
interviews,
that.
right? In the interviews, they were saying like, "Oh, it's gonna have a climactic scene that rivals Obi-Wan versus Anakin or something like that."
Mhm.
It's like it's gonna be so good. So I'm like, there has
They
to
just
be an
end up
epic
playing that
battle at
clip.
the end.
They just end up playing that clip.
They're like, and now we're gonna cut to.
It's like
Good.
here's Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor to reprise their roles.
Everybody's clapping as you come back on stage. Oh my gosh.
It,
Ugh.
oh
That's the
man.
only thing I think, right? Is like they have to. I'm pretty sure the end of this series is the bad guys, the quote unquote bad guys win.
Oh, let me tell you something. This is
Tell
what
me.
I've been wanting to tell you for a while, and I keep forgetting, and I'm so glad it came to my mind. Do you feel, and I might be wrong, my friend here, Jason, are you ready? I feel like the way that they did this show was this episode was supposed to be probably the first one.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Oh,
because
because of the reveal at the very end, where it's like, oh, she's alive, and
exactly,
we're like, we
right?
know.
Like we already knew. Like, doesn't it seem like they should have like changed down like not the format, but like the rearrangement of the episode, at least for these three that we've gotten. That way, it is more of a murder mystery and more like let's
Hmm.
get let's let the fans think as they're watching, not like give it to them straight right off the bat. You know what I mean? Like, obviously we know what's going on, but like the characters are still oblivious. But it's like we should have been oblivious with the characters. Like that's good writing. Like,
Right.
you know what I
We
mean?
shouldn't have
Like,
known. The twin thing shouldn't have been revealed, and we shouldn't have figured out that
and
unless there's like a triplet
And
that
see
we don't know
that
about.
maybe, but like they should have differentiated the twins as well. I know they look the same or whatever, but like one should have been like terribly scarred that like that's how they survived. You know what I mean? And
Oh,
then like that clip of her surviving could have been in episode 3 of whatever the rearrangement would have been, where they show you that she survived and you're like, whoa, she's seeking revenge for what the Jedi had done. Like build it upon like that. But I think they did this because they knew people were gonna have such a bad like reception of it. Like people are like genuinely bothered with what they did. And I'm assuming
I
that's
mean,
why
the
they
third
changed everything
episode's
around.
yeah. It's funny because nobody's seen, like, the press has only seen up to the fourth episode, so we have no idea what's going to happen in the second half of the show. And like, if this was supposed to be the start of the show, like I can just only imagine like how crazy it's going to get at the end. Like,
Yeah, it's gonna
what
be really
what else are they going to do? Is Yoda going to come out and he's going to be a lesbian? What's going to happen? I don't know. I don't even know.
maybe Yaddle's gonna come out.
Yaddle. Oh yeah, that's right. The Yoda's the girl Yoda, right?
I don't know if she's a girl, but maybe. He has like little sweet long hair.
I don't know, bro. It's I that's my theory. I don't know what else they could do. So far, like I still go by my stance of I wish this guy was in a different Star Wars because he's doing a good job with what he has. Same with Carrie Ann Moss. I'm sorry, I forget his name. Lee something. I think he's doing a fine job, but it's just not good writing, right? Like the story hasn't been anything to like. I don't see people watching it like repeatedly. Like I don't see people coming back to revisit the series. It just seems it's been
His
really.
name is Lee Jung-jae.
There you go, Lee Jung-jae. What's his
I
name?
think they're
Saul.
just
Master Saul.
Lee Jung-jae. His name is Master Saul. I think they're good actors though. You know what I mean? Like Carrie Ann Moss and him are doing a pretty great job. In the show, like they do a good job when they're on screen. They have this presence to them, or at least when Carrie Ann Moss was on screen. The rest of the characters are kind of like middle of the ground, you know what I mean? Like they don't really like you don't really care for them for whatever reason. And it's not how they look, it's more how they're written because like they don't have any sort of like quality that you would want to see. Like you want to continue to know what's going on with them. Like you know what I mean? I mean most of the characters are like that, but it's just like these are like the leading ones.
Yeah. It's funny if you took off the name Star Wars and you just had this as a regular show, it would be like a middle of the road sci-fi show, right? It wouldn't be like, oh my gosh, I gotta wait and see what the next episode. It's not a Game of Thrones. It's not a one of those shows where the characters are so compelling that you want to keep watching. It's just kind of like, we'll see. But I feel like this is the moment, right? This is the moment where he lies to her and he's saying, oh, May started, or Osho, I can't remember what the bad guy is. May started the fire and it spread. But come on, like within that time where she sneaks through the little pipe and then he comes out of nowhere and he finds her. Like, why was he there? Unless they were somehow in the, we could find out that it was an accident, but I highly doubt it. I feel like they're going to paint them as the bad guys. And then she's going to find out and she's going to become like, she's gonna go full on Coven, and she's gonna be like, the Jedi are evil, but now I have the training, right? Like, because now she's been trained in the Jedi way, so now she can.
So this is the start of the Sith, right? Because it'll, how like the Sith have to kill their master to become
right.
You know what I mean? Maybe that's what this.
There you go.
What? I can't think of a song.
Okay, should we switch? Let's transition to something a little more.
Already, I'm done with this, dude. I'm done with the Acolyte.
We're done. I'm done. Take me out.
I'm done. No, dude.
Let's get into the numbers.
Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready. Are you gonna click it?
Get the popcorn out.
So the daily box office for as of June 12th, we have The Bad Boys Ride or Die still king at the box office at 74 million. And let me see the overall total worldwide is 123 million, dude. So it's doing, it's clearly made its money back. I don't know if it's made its marketing money back. I feel like it's pretty close, right? So it's been a successful movie. And dude, we saw the movie. And we're going to give our thoughts on it momentarily, but still number one at the box office. Garfield is at number 2. If it's at number 3, which I'm surprised for something that had such lackluster reception when it first came out. If is doing really well. Like it's made 96 million, but overall worldwide it's made 163 million. Like it's doing really well. We got The Watchers at number 4. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is at number 5. Dude, this almost looks exactly like last week. But I was gonna say, that's the top 5. But I was gonna say the one movie that is not included in here, which came out today, and I actually went to go see it. Well, it was Inside Out. Inside Out 2. What is your prediction, Ernie? By the time we look at the box office next, do you think it'll be at number 1, or do you think Bad Boys will still be at number 1?
Oh no, it's definitely going to take over, right? Like we always talk about that with animated movies. They all eventually like take over. Like Garfield was the one we talked about, right? Like in Memorial, Day weekend, we were like, well, what's going on with Garfield? It's not doing so well, and usually like cartoons for kids do really well, and then the next week it was like, bam, there
That's
you
true.
go. So like Inside Out is definitely going to take it. I mean, it's a Disney movie. Inside Out too. A lot of people are looking forward to it. I am. I'm kind of curious to hear your thoughts, but also I don't want to hear them. I'd rather just watch the movie because I don't want you to taint my
All
viewing
right,
of it.
I won't say anything then. But I think people should watch it. It's one of
Hey,
those
hey, hey,
where
hey, whoa. Didn't I say
we
not to taint it? I'm just joking. No, you
we
can say
li-
whatever you want. Okay.
my wife and I literally did one of those where we timed like the trailers because we're like, okay, we're gonna get done with work, we're gonna sneak to the theater, and it started at 5:30, but we snuck in there right as like 2 minutes to 6. We pre-ordered some snacks so they were ready to go, and we just slid into the seats right as like the Disney logo came up, and I was like, dude, we did it. Those are always fun. Like I think you're getting pretty good at that. You're like one of the masters at just kind of sliding in right at the
Oh,
right
I
time.
mean, we have to, but like recently, it's funny that you say that. We don't do it because we want to. We do it because we have to. Like we're putting the kid down, and it's like it's not a struggle, but it's like there's a process to it. And so when we do that, we're like right at the cusp of like almost like the movie's about to start, which we're like, dang, we made it. But like recently, if we can, brother, like we love watching the trailers. Me and my wife like to sit down, we like to get a little snack, sit down, relax, and just enjoy like a good trailer. Like we watched like a few trailers the other day. We're watching The Crow and all that, and there was a lot of movies that we just got excited for, bikers or whatever. Like there's just a bunch, so I love doing that. So I mean,
That's true. Yeah. When we watched Bad Boys, I actually got there early. My wife was at your house,
that's
and
right.
then
Thank you.
everybody came and met, and I was watching the trailers, and dude, they played the Deadpool Wolverine trailer. They played the Joker trailer, like all these ones that I've seen online, but I haven't seen them on the big screen,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
Oh, dude, there's some
Actually,
good
got to give
trailers.
a shout out to the front of the cast, Alex, for coming through my house that day, dude. She freaking helped me try to help with my dog. He wasn't doing too well, and she was there. So front of the cast, thank you.
And there you
I
go.
told her
There
I
you
was gonna
go.
give her a shout out, and then as we were there, she
Did
confronted
you
me
bribe her
about.
with a shout out?
I did. No, I told her I'm gonna have to give you a shout out on the podcast. She's like, hey, and then no, she didn't laugh like that. I just like to make her laugh like that. But she ended up confronting me about the movie. Man, what's the movie with Anne Hathaway that I was talking about? The
Oh,
fanfic one.
the
She
one
had
that she said
confronted.
was fanfic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
what's the Amazon movie? I forget it.
Man, what? Let me see. I'm gonna look up Anne Hathaway. I always forget these movies
I can
from
find it. I
her.
can find it. Hang on.
No, I already found
Continue.
it. Ah, The Idea of You.
The idea of you.
I was
You're quick.
faster than you. I'm quick, friend. I'm quick. Yeah. So we were talking about that. It was fun. I like that she came up to me like not she came up to me, but that she talked to me about it. I love discussion of movies, and I still stood by what I said, but I liked hearing her thoughts on it because she was talking about fan fiction and how this movie reminded her of that. And I was like, no, it's not a fan fiction because in my head I was thinking, well, it's not that she wanted to meet that guy, which is what I assume fan fiction is. It's like the whole purpose is like the way they meet this person is because they wanted to in a way, right? But apparently that's not what it is, and that's what I was assuming it was. And so she was telling me, I don't know if you knew this about your wife. I'm pretty sure you do, but she used to write fan fiction of like her favorite boy bands, and they were kind of like the same story as The Idea of You. And I was like, this is so awesome to hear. Her and her oldest sister, and I was like, this is so sweet. I never wrote fan fiction, but it's definitely something that like it's a cool thing. Like I've heard about it. Like, dude, believe me, I've seen so much fan fiction. There's a lot of it on Reddit. I think Tumblr was a big advocate for that for a while, right? People would write a bunch of crazy, and then you're muted if you're going to talk. But
I just said, yeah. That's what I said.
yeah, so
No,
I
but
don't know. Maybe we should
I was
start
gonna
our own,
say
please.
we
Good.
should. I was gonna say I think I've only read parts of her fan fiction one time, and then it magically disappeared. So
She
it's
burned it.
somewhere.
It's she burned. I mean, if anything, she could probably bring it out. It'd probably be a script for a great
There
Hallmark
you go.
movie, dude, or freaking Amazon Prime's next movie with Anne Hathaway. Who knows? But
There
yeah,
you
I
go,
just wanted to give a little
dude.
shout out to front of the cast. I love like that discussion. There's never ill will towards like having a like some sort of discussion and or like we have different perspectives on something. That's awesome. I love that. So I'm glad I was able to talk to her, but I'm also glad that she was here. It was really nice of her.
Right on. Yeah, she comes through.
She's a good person. That's why I married her.
She's a keeper. She's a keeper. Yeah.
That's why I'm in love with her.
That's why we keep her around.
That's why I keep her around. Yeah.
There it is. Sorry, my guys. I just had to say my internet this week has been so slow. But fear not. I think we're getting. I got an email this week. I was super excited. They're gonna put in fiber in our area next week, I believe. So you might see me in like super HD next week. We'll see.
Yay! Dude, I'm excited for that, dude. It's gonna be awesome. It's like such a game changer.
We start streaming games. We start streaming Fortnite. Just kidding.
Fortnite.
Well, let's get into so tell us about your theatrical experience, Ernie, when you were getting to your bad boy destination. Like how did it go for you?
So
pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it was pretty easy. I mean, like I said, from the cast, Alexandra had come over to help me with my dog because he wasn't feeling well, and we ended up staying up, like we were together for a while, helping the dog out, and then we started the process to put my daughter to sleep. Took her a bath, got her ready and everything. Put her down really fast. Right when I put her down, my wife came to read her a book. We got in, and my wife was already ready to go. Like she had her bag and everything. She's like, "Let's get out of here." And I'm like, "All right." I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And so I freaking ran out of the house. We took off, and we made it on time. Right? Like we saw trailers, if I'm not mistaken.
No, you missed the first scene, didn't you?
Did I miss the first scene? Oh my gosh,
you missed the
first scene. Yeah, that's right. Because I told you, what did I miss? And you're all, the first scene, and I'm like, yeah, but what is that? Like a guy asked
you grabbed like nachos or something, like you were already ready with snacks. Yeah,
I had to grab some nachos. I was hungry.
Which I'm so glad that you're getting your nacho fix like lately. Remember there was that dry spell of no nachos. Yeah. Oh man, I felt so bad.
That was bad, dude. Yeah, it was weird. We also had a weird time with AMC where they had the cheese, the nacho cheese had jalapeno on it. And it was not good. Like, it's not that it was spicy or anything. It just did not taste good. And I was like, and I think I told you I emailed them, or I voted, or I did something. Yeah, because the person
like, please bring back the original nacho.
Yeah, I'm like, are you guys ever gonna get that cheese? Oh, you can go on and tell them. And I did that. I sent a thing.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, dude, I got my cheese back.
Dude,
I guess I did.
So Bad Boys.
Man, that's
yeah. You missed the opening scene, but part of it's in the trailer when he goes into the 7-Eleven. And
that's right.
There's like a guy that wants to rob the 7-Eleven, and he happens to be in the 7-Eleven. It's a funny scene, dude. I was already so just because you missed the initial intro, the first like I said, I got there early before everyone else, and so I was chilling and enjoying the trailers. But when the movie started, so my wife actually, I guess she must have left your house earlier before you did, and she kind of surprised me because I thought she was going to show up with the both of you at the same time. But I looked over and she was already walking into the theater, and she's like, "I didn't want to leave you alone." And I was like, "Oh, like it was like she's like
front of the cast.
She's a keeper. She's a keeper." But so the movie started and it felt very Fast and Furious, bro. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like the opening of the Fast and Furious, where it has like a really hard hitting, like getting you in the mood, and then you have shots of like women on the beach, and then volleyball and barbecue and like whatever, like it's like Miami vibe, and it was cool because it has a mix between Michael Bay style and Fast and the Furious, and I feel like it works. Like I feel like there's a certain way you can cut, kind of like those 90s movies that were so popular, those 90s action movies. It felt like that. And I think, the more we were talking about why did this do better than Furiosa, and I feel like part of it, even my wife was agreeing, like part of it's the franchise, right? We know the franchise, we know what we're getting. And then part of it is it's a fun movie, right? I think people are looking for something that's fun, something that's lighthearted, and something that's a good time. I think
that was the Fall Guy, brother. That was the Fall Guy.
That's what I thought too.
That's the thing. It's like, is it that? It can't be just that.
But the Fall Guy, the Fall Guy is not a familiar franchise, right? It didn't have that.
That's true. Aspect. That's the only thing that this has going for it. That is that. But then I was thinking about it, and I saw this tweet, and I thought it was hilarious. It's like, It was 11 Fast and the Furious movies, 11 Bad Boys movies, and it's like they're like, no, let's do 11 Bad Boy movies. Like these are far better,
Uh,
and I was like, I agree, they're all been pretty darn good. Like
they've all been really good.
but man, I don't know. It's like I was telling a friend of the cast, Lex, I got in this like not heated debate, but like when I talk movies like this, I always go like really wholeheartedly, and it sounds like I'm angry about it, but I'm not. I'm just really passionate about it. But like I was talking to him, and I'm like, I was like, why did Bad Boys do so well and Furiosa didn't? Like, what's going on? Like, is it that people are picking and choosing what they spend their money on, which is like one of our like things that we've talked about before? Is it like that it's Will Smith, that it's Martin Lawrence? Is it like you said? Are people looking for funny and comedy, action? Like, what is it? Because like we got that with Barbie and Oppenheimer. It's like such a crazy thing that we have never gotten in such a long time, like to get these like movies like so like what is it that is having people come to the theaters for this movie, like because it's an awesome movie, like it is great, dude. My wife is not a big action person, like I have to watch them by myself for the most part, or like with a friend
Yeah,
if they want to see it, but like she freaking loved this. She was raving about it. Like she was, that was
dude,
good. And I'm
it's a
like,
great movie.
and I was like,
Yeah,
yeah, they're all great movies. Like Will Smith is awesome. Like I know we made fun of the slap and all that stuff. Like if I hate him, I don't hate Will Smith in any way, dude. I like him as an actor. Like I liked all his stuff except
he's a
maybe
good actor.
After Earth. He's a good actor. He's not a good person.
Yeah, but I would say Martin Lawrence really shines in this movie.
Oh yeah.
Like I was surprised. Like he has a lot of great moments in this movie.
Oh yeah. He's
Uh,
hilarious, bro. I think they switched it up on us, right? Like before Martin Lawrence, I think he gets shot in his butt and he has like this not panic attack, but he kind of like is always scared of what's going on in the world of Bad
yeah,
Boys. And this time it was Will Smith having a panic attack and Martin Lawrence was kind of like walking him through it. It was like a little dynamic, like they switched it a little bit, which is cool. But
yeah.
there's a cool moment in the trailer where he pumps up Will Smith's character, and he's like, come on, I need that crazy Will. I forget what he calls it. And then like he's like, and it was like it works so darn well, man. Like I was like, man, this is so sick. Like I can't believe they're doing such great action moments in the movie, and then we get this really really great scene. Dude, one of my
He's like,
favorites,
I need
honestly.
angry Mike. Give me
One of,
crazy Mike,
one of my
and he keeps
favorite.
slapping him.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
pumping him up. Yeah, sorry.
No, you're good. One of my favorite scenes is the one with his daughter's boyfriend. Oh man, Reggie.
Yeah, but don't spoil. No spoilers. But he was in the last one, so we know who he is.
Oh, so no spoils. Yeah, yeah. So Reggie's in it, and it's dope.
He does some cool stuff.
He does some cool
For
stuff,
sure.
man. Like you
I'm
guys are
glad
gonna love that character.
that was one of the things I was surprised with is how much it ties. It's not standalone, right? It ties together with all the other movies, and it continues. It picks up where it left off in some aspects, and everyone that was in the like not everyone, but people that are in the last movie or the last couple movies, right, show up, and you're like, oh my gosh, I forgot because she's in this world and he's in this world, and like they're just like doing their job, and it felt so lived in a way, and it felt so great to have that continuity because I thought we were gonna get just mostly Will Smith and Martin Lawrence because they're the A-list, they're the stars of the show, but we got a lot of people returning for the movie, and I don't think that's spoiler. I think it's in the IMDb, but that was fun. That was really cool to see, like just the continuation. It makes it feel similar to the. I know we keep comparing it to Fast and Furious, but Fast and Furious has those group of core characters that show up in the movies, and it's just fun. It was refreshing, and I thought the way they played with the characters, like obviously Will Smith and Mike and what's Martin Lawrence's character, Marcus. Mike and Marcus are obviously getting older, right? And they play with it, right? It's not like, oh, it's time to throw in the hat and like they're playing it up, but I loved how they added those realistic moments where he's like, man, Martin Lawrence has a snack addiction or whatever, and he's got to watch his sugar, and like there's just funny stuff like that. Great chemistry though between the two of them, and no matter what you think about Will Smith, like the two of them work so well on screen, right? The two of them have such great chemistry, and I think because this one kept its budget down, but dude, I know it said it was like 100 million. Sorry, I'm rambling, but I was surprised like how much was on screen. So much great, like camera work was done. So much great special effects. The action was great, and it was like 100 million, dude. It can be done. You can have a great blockbuster, keep the budget in a decent level, and it's making money. Like this is proof that Hollywood can do this.
I think it's because they do a lot of reshoots, Jace. I think that's the problem, right? Is that we're not accounting for the extra money that they're asking for because this shot wasn't as good as they intended it to be, or they're telling them maybe you should change it to be like this. You know what I mean?
Because the studios are wanting to push something.
I mean, what could they be pushing if they're like spending so much darn money? What, waste money?
Like, no, I'm saying like why is Acolyte, what is it, 80 million an episode or 20 million an episode? Like, and you can do a whole movie with 100, get A-list actors, and I don't know, it's just crazy to me. Like, why did the Acolyte is like 20 million shy of Dune 2? Like the whole series is like spending the same amount as Dune 2 almost.
Yeah, I'm wondering what they spend that budget on.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, what
could have been the buffets
where is that money
they would
going?
get when they would eat.
They'd all go to Caesar's Palace afterward.
I mean, possibly. I mean, it could be done, definitely. We've seen many shows. We've seen a bunch of movies that can spend way less and do really well in the box office. I think that's what I always talk about Sam Raimi with this practicality within his films. It's like there's like something there that is probably it must be cheaper than using CGI and using all this technology to like create a scene that's like super expensive. But then some people say that it's worth creating the scenes like that because it makes it easier in post-production or pre-production or something like that. Like there's a bunch of pros and cons to it, but I don't know, man. I feel like we talked about it the other week or last week's episode. We're talking about Captain Falcon. That's freaking Super
Captain
Smash Bros.
America.
Character. We're talking about Captain
Oh, yeah.
America. Sam, right? This new movie that they're doing, The Brave New World, I believe, and it's got like 20 days of reshoots again. And what the heck are they doing that this movie can't come out? And that's extra money, Jace. Like that's more money. Like that's not free. They're not like, hey, can you come back and I'll just record this scene? You owe me $20 million. You know how Anthony Mackie talks all sweet. Make that. There's an interview where he's talking to some like interviewer, and he's like, if you want to, if I think he's talking about like, you got to make Daddy a sandwich or something like that. But it's a sweet little interview. There was a random last thing.
I don't know.
Sorry. Last thing. There's a picture of if you look at pictures of Anthony Mackie, he always like has like this.
Yeah,
because he has chubby cheeks, and people said that it looks like he always has food in his mouth, like
like he's just having a bite of a sandwich. That's too funny.
Continue. My bad.
I mean, yeah, I don't know what else to say. I really enjoyed the style of it. Had that Michael Bay flair. There's even a reference to Michael Bay at one point. I won't say what it is, but
it's pretty sweet.
It's pretty sweet. And I feel like there should be a resurgence of these types of movies, right? These are fun popcorn, like theater experiences. And I think you don't have to have it blow up to that crazy amount of budget. I feel like what they used was great. I feel like they really used their money well. I mean, I don't know, like how much. I feel like 100 million is really low these days, right? Like I feel like really huge blockbusters are spending 200, 180. Like it's surprising, but this had all the money was on the screen. And the thing I was thinking about was when we were watching Garfield. Remember we said that there's a part in the movie where it gets like all the colors kind of get blend and it's just like exposition and like you could tell the kids stopped watching, right? The kids kind of turned off at that point. I was comparing it to this movie and the way the shooting of the scenes and the chopping of the editing, there's so much stuff happening, right? Like you're cutting to like cool angles of cool different perspectives, and then there's the camera swinging around, and like there's so much motion, and you're never bored. You're never bored watching these movies because of the way it's shot, and it's just fun. It's just a fun watch, and I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I feel like there should be more of these. But
I love that you said that because the pacing of the movie I think worked really well because I never felt like there was that lull period in the film, and I'm glad that you mentioned it because like I remember watching it and my wife was like trying to talk to me about something, and I was like, yeah. Like I
you're like,
was like,
but there's something happening.
Let me watch it. And like I'm like I want to watch the movie, you know. Like usually I'm like, what's up, you know? Like what did you need or what are you gonna tell me? And I'm like, you know, usually she doesn't talk through a movie, but for whatever reason she wanted to talk, tell me something, and I'm like, dude, I'm like trying to watch this movie. Like I was.
You guys look like you're having fun though. Like you guys are
we had a
cracking
great
jokes
time,
and, like,
dude. We were
laughing.
laughing, bro.
Yeah.
We were dying. Like it was probably. Well, I don't know if this is. It's not summer yet, is it? No, right? We get
It's
to
June.
July.
It's summer. Yeah, it's summer.
We'll call it summer, but it's a great summer blockbuster. Like I highly recommend this film. Like Jason has stated, it's fun. It has a good story, and I think it plays on the heroes and villains here. Like it does that really well, and I think that's maybe what cinema's missing, is that we've gone that anti-hero of everything, and we always talk about this. Jason has mentioned it many times. I think he's the one that honestly started that conversation, but we're getting like Acolyte, who you want the Sith to be like the character
Heroes.
who you like root for, or like you see their side, the Joker, Venom, you know, stuff like that. And we don't get like just good old fashioned heroes like we once did. It sounds like an old man saying that, but it's true. Like go back and look at all the things that we used to get, and this is what that is. It's like two guys who are the heroes of the film, and you know, their trials and tribulations to get the bad guy and all the stuff, you know what I mean? Like, and I think that's what works in the movie. Like, but I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like we've gone like the world. Obviously, cinema reflects the world that we're in. I feel like we're in a period of nihilism in a way. Like it's very nihilistic and it's very apathetic. Like we're seeing a lot of movies that are not black and white, right? Everything's very gray. Everything's like, well, maybe it's this way, maybe it's that way. There's not clear cut heroes and villains, and I think there needs to be more of that. But there also it needs to be movies that are just fun, right? Like we can't always just be like, oh, the drama and it, like how the world is weighing on us and like everything is hard and we got to push through it, and like those are good. Like there are great movies that do that, but I think we also need to have a balance of like I want to walk out of a movie and I just had a really good time, right? Like I just had a fun experience.
You feel good after like watching that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like you're
the world isn't. The world's already bleak. You don't want to feel
Yeah.
even. You don't want to make it even bleaker kind of thing, right? Like
yeah, kind of in that way. Yeah,
I get what you mean, because like I talked about this before when like I went on Twitter and X, right? Like I know that the whole thing in Gaza or whatever thing's going on, and it sucks. It's really sad. And like I don't get that on Twitter, but I know people are talking about it. But I don't get it, and I don't want to go look it up because I know it's gonna make me feel bad, and like I don't want to feel bad. Like it sucks. Like I already, you know, I get it on Instagram. I'll see it, and I'm like, well, what do we do? You know what I mean?
right.
Like, and then it just makes you feel like there's nothing you can do. Like people are just like, this is happening, right? And I think that's why maybe there's that resurgence of horror films, bro. Why we talk about that, and you're always, you know, I know you dislike it, but like we've talked about it before. Like people who feel anxious likes horror films because it helps with that, and maybe that's why
somehow calms them down. Yeah,
calms them down. Makes it's like a whole psyche thing, and you know whether it's bad or good, but like that's the life. I don't know. I'm not a big horror guy. I always say this. We always make it seem like, oh, it's horror, but my wife likes that stuff. I just am there.
The horror movies.
I'm just there for the ride. I have to be. It's my wife. It's like I know you watch things that you don't want to watch, and I'm pretty sure, like my mouth to God's ears here, dude. I know for a fact you make your wife watch things she doesn't want to watch.
Oh,
I
yeah.
know you do that. I do that to my wife.
She will be watching season 2 of Arcane. I'm just telling you right now.
She'll be watching season 2 of The Wheel of Time. Just kidding. But you know what I mean? Like,
She will be
so
watching Deadpool and Wolverine. Yeah, I mean, she
so
wants to watch that one. But
no, but yeah,
yeah,
same my
I mean,
wife as
it's
well.
true. You
But
gotta have
it's
a
like
good
we
exchange,
yeah, dude.
right?
One well, actually, this is a good moment. But I love this because we were talking about wanting to go watch Lord of the Rings. It's coming out in theaters, right? And when my
Yes.
wife was pregnant with our daughter, for whatever reason, I'm like, you want to watch Lord of the Rings? And she's like, yeah, let's do it. And we went through them like 1 and 2, and then right when we started Return of the King, and that wasn't in the same day, it was like in different times because they're long as heck. We watched the extended ones. I bought the 4K, right?
Oh, nice. You got
And
to.
huh?
So you got to.
Yeah, of
At
course,
least for
dude.
me, yeah.
Dude, it's awesome. And so I put them on, and we're watching that, and then we got to Return of the King, dude. I didn't get to the part where I love Viggo Mortensen when he comes out. I thought it's not this day, but when that movie was on, is when my wife were like, we got to go to the hospital, and she might be giving birth. And I always like to tell that story because it was Return of the King that helped. I'm just kidding.
Like, cast it into the fire. That's awesome, dude.
It's
Like
Isildur! You know,
yeah.
Isildur! Sorry, that's
For Rohan, and you're like, let's go. You grabbed the bag. And you're like,
yeah, dude. It was yeah.
that's awesome.
Honestly, I think to pay respects, we should go watch that movie, JC. You just sold me on it. If you get tickets,
Dude, I'm
get
down.
them, and I'll pay you. We'll go watch.
How about you get them and I'll pay you?
You can.
Like,
I mean, you know what's funny is you owe me $20, but you haven't paid me back.
that's not true. Is that true?
Yeah, for one of the tickets that we bought one time, but it's not.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna send it to you right now. I'm gonna
See,
send it to you
see?
live on air because I don't want this.
I don't want that
this
bad
hanging over me.
Yeah,
I don't want that bad juju hanging over me.
No, that's all right. It doesn't matter. But Jace, how many Jasons do you rate this bad boy out of 5 Jasons?
Out of 5 Jasons, dude, this is a. Well, give it 5. Give it 5 Jasons. Why not? I'm feeling generous today.
Dude, I
5 out of 5 Jasons.
5 Ernie's too, bro. I think like, movie. And it was funny because I was sitting next to you and I would like look at you and be like I was like trying to see if you could have a reaction like me, and I was like, no, he didn't look at me. I feel like I was bugging you probably.
I looked over you once and I did the like, you know, the thing I do. I'm like, yeah, like you know, it's basically when Deadpool says, "Let's fucking go," you know, like that's what I was feeling.
Yeah, because it like I haven't felt like that in a while. The feeling of like, let's go, they're gonna do it. Like this is cool, you know, like it's been a minute, and it was really cool. Definitely worth a watch. I recommend. I don't have any bad like negative reviews.
It's happening. Swiping it.
I don't have
$25 sent. I don't know. There might have been tax. I'm gonna send you 25.
No, dude. But I don't have any like negative reviews of the film. Like I don't have anything that like I could think of that was like, oh, this bugs me. Like, you know what I mean? Like I think for the most part, like everything was just solid. It's not a perfect movie. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm
for
sure
what it was, I think it was good.
I think it was. Yeah, it's not like I'm pretty sure I can nitpick things. Maybe I watched it a second time and I'm like, you know, looking for them. But like in the one viewing, I don't have any negative like sort of things to say about it. Like I don't know if you do, Jason. Was there like something that you're like, oh well, this bothers me?
I mean, the cop was annoying. I was really kind of annoyed with the cop. I was like, but she had to be there to move.
Yeah.
Move the plot forward. She had to be there, but she had a cool little arc to her. But like, I think she was doing her job well because I was like, oh my gosh, this lady, like she was just being very, very copish. But yeah, overall, I don't think I had any complaints. People were saying that Will Smith was phoning it in and he wasn't really into it, but I didn't see it. I felt like he was having a good time.
I didn't notice that. Phoning it in.
Yeah, people were saying like, oh, he really doesn't want to do these anymore. But I was like, really? I feel like
he had a lot of fun, right?
I mean, he looked like he was having a lot of fun. Maybe he's just a really good actor.
Maybe he's phoning in and having fun.
But yeah, definitely worth a watch. Definitely go see it. I'm still really curious to see what happens with Inside Out. If Inside Out is gonna take over the box office, or if I mean, it's already made its money.
Do you feel like it will?
Well, I don't want to spoil anything, but I feel like it will. I feel like Inside Out will.
Oh, then why? That's not a spoiler. I thought you were gonna say, "Well, this thing happens," and you know, Riley, you know, and then it's like, no, that's not a spoiler. It's just like
I think people want to. It's funny. I really want to talk about because I went to go see it today because I wanted to talk to you about it, but I know you didn't see it. But it's funny. I'll just say my wife and I had very different opinions when we were walking out of the theater. And I think it's because her childhood didn't match up to Riley's childhood, if that makes sense. So like things that are happening to Riley, she didn't feel like she related to as much. And I was like, oh, that's interesting, because I was watching it thinking, oh, this is a universal human situation that everyone goes through. And she's like, no, not really with my childhood. And I was like, oh, interesting. So that'll be interesting to see how other people see it, right? Because, not everybody's the same. And Riley is she's a white girl. So
maybe, but it's a fictional character as well. It's not like it's going to be 100% accurate of something that's happened. Like, everyone lives different lives. I mean, like we've talked about this before, but not all parents are raise kids all the same, right? Like, they're not educated, and or they think that they need to be raised in this particular way, and things happen like that, or absent parents, all that stuff. So I get it where front of the cast Alex is coming from, but I don't know. Like, I watched Inside Out 1, and I didn't think of that. Did you think of that though? Like, were you like, I'm wondering if she thought that too, or like watching that movie where you're like, oh, Riley is ice skating, or, she's into hockey, and, she goofs around like a little monkeys, or, what I mean? Like, you know what I mean?
I felt like it was all very universal, right? Like,
but I don't know. I didn't watch that movie trying to relate to this little girl in any way.
Like, you could see where Riley was coming from. Like, you didn't necessarily have to.
No, I don't think I necessarily be. Yeah, at least in my perspective. But like, again, it could be different when I watch the actual film. You know what I mean? Like, my daughter loves the movie, but I'll tell you what, she's not. She like has been watching it a lot, and they got her a little ball, and she has like this like I don't have a hockey stick, but she has like this broom that she like wanted to play with, and she's like playing hockey with the ball. But
that's cool.
You know what I mean? Like, but it's the little movie, like, and it's crazy because this is one of the films I was telling from the cast Lex about this, but my daughter is getting like, she's changing, like she's not maturing, but like her mind is changing, developing. And she's had these moments of watching movies where she gets anxious and she's like, what's gonna happen? And I think she gets that moment with Bing Bong in the first one, and then she like gets sad. She's like, oh, it's sad, look what happened to him, he's gone. Like, she understands that. And then Riley's a kid in this one, so I'm wondering if she's gonna resonate with her, like seeing it and resonate that, like, look what's going on in the second one. Look at the little sadness, dude, with the little.
I know, dude. There's a picture later on. Where is it? Look at her hair in this one, dude. She looks cool.
That's so sweet, dude. I was thought sweet character. She's sweet, dude. A lot of people on Twitter were talking crap about her. She's like, she's dumb for what she did or whatever. But I'm like, nah, she's sweet, dude. I told my wife, I'm like, I'm gonna dress up like Sadness for Halloween.
You just want to wear a bathrobe, dude. Because you did
I did that with What did I dress up like? Peter B. Parker.
Peter B. Parker.
Yeah, I dressed up like Peter B. Parker from Into the Spider-Verse with the bathrobe and the Spider-Man suit, and I have little like baby. What's that called? The baby Bjorn or whatever. And I had this like little mermaid with red hair, but it looked like his daughter. It was sweet. Like I took it to the wrong place. I should have taken it to Comic-Con or something, but I took it to the Anime Expo. Was it?
Yeah, Anime Expo. Which is, I mean, it's loosely, it could work.
I mean,
it was still really creative.
It's just a lot of people were all Demon Slayered out, dude. That's like the big anime at the time. That or One Piece.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of One Piece. It was still fun. I thought yours was pretty creative.
Thank you.
Okay, we got to talk about one piece of news before we.
One Piece.
Is it this one? I'm trying to find the article. Oh, here. Okay, Ernie, walk me through. What is this?
I'll walk you.
Oh.
I read a little script. Or a little thing. Did you want to read that?
Do you want me to read it, or you want to read it?
I love when you read, but I mean, if you don't want to read,
I mean, I'll do it if I must.
Don't say it like that, dude. I mean, if I have to.
Okay, fine. So we got filmmaker Yann Demange has exited Marvel's Blade, leaving the project once again in search of a director. Dang, this is the second time. This is not good. The departure, described as amicable, marks another challenge for the long gestating film. Mahershala Ali, who has been attached to star since 2019. That's crazy. Remains committed to the project. The film, which faces delays due to the 2023 writer's strike, was initially set to begin production in the fall of 2022 under Bosman Turek's direction before he exited over creative differences. And then Eric Peterson is currently working on the latest draft. Dude, so they're working the draft again? That means they're trying to add something or they're trying to take away.
Jason, what are they doing here?
Yeah, what are they doing?
That's causing this. Like, what are they trying to add that's making these people leave the project? I know they say one of them left amicably. It's like they left amicably, but that doesn't mean that they.
Oh, why?
But like, why did they like? It doesn't mean that they left like in a good, like like they didn't want to do it anymore. Like, what's the reason?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is a like back then, right? I don't know how it is now. Maybe it's still the same, but to be a director for a Marvel film in its heyday when they were making like the Thanos before Snap was like a big thing, and also like to be in a movie. Do you recall this? It was like a big deal. Now that these dudes are leaving, it's kind of like a pretty interesting sign that something's the matter, especially for this movie Blade. This is supposed to come out next year in 2025 or 2025, right? It's supposed to be done.
Maybe.
I doubt it's gonna be. I mean, unless they find someone that does it really quickly, but they're gonna get someone to just put a name on it. And I'm trying to figure out what they're doing with the script. It could be what happened with Jonathan Majors, where because of him having that assault on his girlfriend or whatever, and being taken out of Marvel, it could be the reason that all this is happening. It could be, but we don't know because it's like very.
Well, the article does say Marvel is taking its time with the projects as it recalibrates its film output to around 2 releases per year. But recalibrates, that, I mean, to me, that means something's changing, right? Like either people are not liking the script or like the direction that it's going, right? Because like, why would if you are a director and you get to get signed on to a Marvel movie, like I don't know about now, like they've kind of run it into the ground, but like it used to be a big deal, right? It's like, oh, I get to direct this movie that's going to be huge. Like this is going to be part of the Marvel canon, right? Because they built up the MCU so much. And so if you're leaving the project, either it's the Marvel apathy or like the Marvel sting, like people are not wanting to be part of Marvel anymore, or it's the actual script is like not good, or it's like the direction they're taking is not good.
I don't know. That's the thing, is like we just talked about the Captain America, right? That it's getting reshoots. Like what are people seeing that is making this look like it's really awful? Because like this could make or break people, like in a way. Like we talked about the what is it, director jail that they were talking about, where it's like they go based off reviews. I mean, Marvel stuff reviews well, not like even like the worst stuff is not like reviewed terribly. Like what did Captain Marvel get? Like it was like 60. It wasn't like maybe 70. It might have been Captain Marvel 2. I forget. It wasn't like high, but it's like usually they don't do really bad. But that director's jail, I'm wondering if like they're like, I don't want to be a part of this, that I know it's gonna suck. So let's kind of like stay away from this for now. Like let's figure out something else. And I don't know.
Well, you also have to think like Yann Demange and Bassam Torok, like they're not household name directors, right? They're not the Steven Spielbergs and the I can't think of it, Joss Whedon's or whatever. They're not the Zack Snyders, right? Like this is a huge paycheck for them. Like this is lots of bread on the table, and if you're turning it down, that's a huge opportunity that you're turning down. I mean, potentially a huge opportunity if you do it good. But so are they thinking like this is going to to be a stinker? Like, are they looking at the Marvels and saying this is more of the Marvels, and the Marvels was a huge flop, and like I'm not going to get any returns on this. It's not worth my time. Like that's a bad sign for Disney. Like that's crazy. The thing I was thinking about was Mahershala Ali, dude. He's been signed on since 2019. Like, let the man go. Like, this guy needs to do more stuff for sure. He's a great actor, and I feel like he's kind of like in not hostage, but he's kind of being held hostage, right? Because he needs to be available to shoot this movie, and if they keep changing things and moving things around, and like he's gonna have to like say no to other projects, right? And the poor guy, like I say, just let him go. Like I think he needs to respectfully bow out.
I mean, the fact that he's been there for a while, I feel like he sees something that like maybe others don't, and so that could cause like that could be a good thing, right? Like
well, I know people like him. Like people want him to be in this role. Like he seems like a good fit.
No, I think he's a great fit, but I'm saying like just because he is doesn't mean he's like kept there by contract. Like he could easily bow out after a while. He doesn't need to stay in contract. Like you're not there for the rest of your life. And if this keeps continuing to happen, he could pull out. But the fact that he's still there means that he is like he wants this. He wants this to like happen. So I don't know. And I want to say this because I didn't get to say it, but Dennis Villeneuve is the director of Dune. I don't want to say that. I don't want to.
Denis Villeneuve.
Whatever. I can't say that. Yeah. And then I wanted to see the score for the Marvels. I wanted to see like what it was, and the Tomato score is 62%, which is fresh. The audience score is 82%, bro.
For the Marvels, yeah,
that's pretty. That's good, right?
But nobody watched it in theaters. I think it's doing.
You
well
said nobody watched it in theaters. Yeah, I mean, where were you guys? That 82%. Where was it?
That's true. It's funny. The Acolyte is at like 20 right now. I don't know if you saw that.
Does it keep going down if people do it?
Yeah, it keeps going down. The more people are voting.
I saw this article, Jace, and it says that Star Wars isn't bad. It's just you're making it bad, or what is it? I
saw that. Where was that article? That was crazy.
Man, I want to see. I'm gonna find it right now, but I think it's on our Twitter. I sent it to you on there, but I'll find it right now.
It's like it's you, right? Yeah. It says, Star Wars isn't the problem. You are the problem.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah.
And like I saw what's his name's video. He's like, I didn't see my name in the credits. Did you guys see my name in the credits? Because it's like, if you were the problem, like I had nothing to do with this show.
No, I know. That's right. Like what did I do in this movie that made you that made me the problem? I mean, yeah, dude, it's crazy. I mean, they do that with these shows. It's funny that like some of these like articles or I mean websites or whatever, like news outlets, like they side with what's going on. It's like it doesn't make sense.
Oh, dude, it dropped to 18%, bro.
That is wild.
18%. Oh my gosh. It was at 24 and now it's at 18.
How did it get that 86?
I think some money exchanged hands. Personally,
you think the mouse had something to do with it?
Like the mouse. Did you see when they put a tampon behind this?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And someone said it actually makes sense now.
Right. It's like, oh, I understand. But yeah, I don't know, bro. It's gonna be interesting to see like the next. Are you gonna stick it out to the end, or are you done? Was this the episode that you broke Star Wars for you? Are you done?
Oh no, dude! Star Wars has been kind of like downhill for me for a while now. But I still like.
What was the moment? Do you remember them? Was it Rise of Skywalker? What was the moment? Was it?
I think for me,
the prequels. Was it? How far back?
Because I love The Mandalorian. I thought that was great. At least the first season, was really good. I'm trying to remember. Like I think.
Was it the?
I want to say it was. I think what?
Was it? It's coarse and it gets everywhere.
No, man, that was awesome. I think Last Jedi was probably the one that really, like, made me start to rethink like what's going on here. And I remember coming out of the theater and being like, "That was awesome. That was awesome." And then, like and I'm like, why is that in my head? Like, why am I thinking that? And then I went through my days and the weeks, and I was like, man, that was bad. That wasn't that great. Like, why did I do that? I think I saw that movie twice. Damn. And I remember like it started to be like, man, this isn't really that great. What's going on here? And then I still held out hope. I still was like hopeful, but I think that was the one that like just shook me to my core, which is why I talk about it. Like, I think that was the one that just like didn't resonate with me after a while. I was just like,
I think for me it was when they killed Han Solo. Like, it was such a terrible way to kill him.
That was like, stupid. Yeah,
I was like, this is dumb. Like, I really don't. Like,
I thought you the part that you hated when they killed the old man in Force Awakens, where he goes, he's all, what does he say? He's all, you're Scott, you can't deny your name, and he's all, you're so right. Yeah, he goes, you're so right. Or something.
You're so right. I don't remember that.
Man, watch Force Awakens. I like that movie a lot. But whatever, let's keep going.
We should probably wrap it up. No, did you want to get any other news?
Yeah, let's talk about this because I really wanted to get your thoughts on the Sony acquisition of the Alamo Drafthouse.
All right, you want me to read that one,
please?
All right. Sony Pictures has acquired Alamo Drafthouse and its 35 dine-in cinemas, marking its entry into the movie theater business. Alamo Drafthouse will continue to operate. Wait a minute, am I sharing the art? Okay, I just want to make sure I was sharing the Alamo Drafthouse will continue to operate existing locations and the annual Fantastic Fest in Austin, with CEO Michael Klusterman reporting to he's going to be reporting to Sony Pictures president Ravi. I'm sorry, I butchered his name. Ravi. Managed under the new division, Sony Pictures Experiences, the cinema will still show non-Sony releases. That'd be interesting if it was only Sony, like it was only Kung Fu Panda. And it says this acquisition follows Alamo Drafthouse's 2021 bankruptcy and sale to Altamount Capital Partners and Fortress Investment Group. The move aligns with Sony's strategy to engage entertainment fans through distinct experiences, reflecting a commitment to theatrical experiences and innovation. So, okay. So Alamo Drafthouse, dude, is people would say it's kind of like a premium theater experience, right? Like a lot of people say, like, "Oh, I love the Drafthouse." It's interesting. You think? I feel like there's actually, I want to hear your thoughts, dude. What are your thoughts on this?
I think it's cool. I mean, we were talking about movie theater experiences and how, it's not slowly dying, but it's becoming more, less and less likely for people to go watch movies in theaters, and this is why probably movies aren't doing as well. But I think, Sony, acquiring the Drafthouse and showing that, there is like companies who want, movies to be viewed on the big screen, I think is a big plus. And I think it's gonna hopefully, I don't know if it's going to, but hopefully it like gives it a push for people to want to go see movies. And like you said, this is an experience, and it's a little more costly, right? I've never been to the Alamo Drafthouse. I've only heard about it, and I've had a friend invite me one time, but I'm like, I don't know, like I have AMC A-list, like, it's like not across the street, but it's like not far from my house. Like, am I really going to go like do this? This is like how I feel like if I went to the Pantages theaters to go watch a play.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not a play. You know what I mean? Like I could just easily go down the way.
I guess they call it a boutique experience, but it's more like kind of it's an event, right? Like it's.
So what does it entail? Like, what is it? Like,
it's a dine-in experience, right? I think they're very strict on like no getting your cell phones out. You have to be like be like on good behavior, or they'll kick you out. Like they have like strict rules about. We want to have a premium experience where you go in and you just enjoy. And I think the food is supposed to be more craft, like high-end food.
This is what you wanted.
It's exactly
like all these episodes we talked about, like, oh, what can we do to make the cinema better? And you're like, food. And this is the freaking, you got to go to the Drafthouse, dude.
I know. I feel like if they had one closer, I'd probably switch.
Where
But
is it? In LA,
I
I
mean, they
said.
have some. Yeah, they have some in LA. They have some. I think there's one in Long Beach, if I'm not mistaken. But
Oh, so there's
uh,
a bunch of
there's
them.
only 35 of them, right? There's only 35. But
Oh,
they're
that's
kind of they're kind of a premium. Like you pay a little bit more. But dude, like this is like what we were saying, right? If they up their game as far as the the quality of the projection, the quality of the seating, the quality of the just the overall experience, I think that's what people are wanting, right? Because right now people are weighing, I can have this movie streamed to me in the comfort of my home, and the home has 4K television, a comfortable seat. I'm not worried about the kids crying and the people yelling or whatever, like craziness happening in the theaters, right? If they can control the experience more with these Alamo draft houses, or if they build, take the blueprint and expand on it to even more theaters, like that's what people are wanting. Like people are wanting something that's better than their house, right?
what if, because these are like those sort of, man, what was the word you use for these experiences of the draft house? Like, what if this is what they only show certain movies in these theaters? Like, it becomes a premium content, kind of like subscription. Like, oh, you can only get this movie on Epix or like Netflix or whatever. Like, what if they do this with that new movie, with what's his name, Kylo Ren, Adam Driver, where you were talking about the person
Oh, the
comes out and it
Megalopolis, yeah.
Megalopolis. I thought it was Megalomaniac, dude, the Incubus song, but
I think it's Megalopolis, yeah.
yeah, Megalopolis or whatever. And then that guy comes out and it becomes interactive. What if they only did that at the
Mm,
Alamo Drafthouse? And if you didn't see it then, you're not seeing the right version. You know what I mean? Like, what if they do that? That's the thing about the Sony acquisition. I'm wondering what they're trying to do with doing this. Yeah, it's like definitely keeping the movie theaters alive, and like they could bring out movies, do a whole events, whatever. Yeah, yada yada yada. That's all good and well, but like, what else can they add to like entice you to want to go spend that dime? Because these tickets aren't going to be like $30, right?
right. Well,
It's going to be like, go
that's
ahead.
why I thought it was interesting, because they said they will show non-Sony releases, but imagine if they chose to only show Sony releases, and like you could only see them at the Alamo draft houses. Like I I don't know, bro. Like I still go back to the thought about what we were talking about like a long time ago, how if Netflix were to buy a theater chain, or if Amazon were to buy a theater chain, and like you could go see Netflix movies or Amazon movies, if you had the subscription, like it's built in, right? You could go to the theater, or maybe it's discounted or whatever, but like you could go to that theater, watch an Amazon movie because I already have Prime. Like that's just like a bonus that I already paying for the subscription. They probably, they're gonna keep
Yeah, but
upping the
like,
subscription price. But
yeah,
imagine it's like
eventually,
A
but
list built in, right?
yeah, I get what you're saying, but I feel like their whole thing with subscriptions is to it's not to keep you just in the subscription, it's to get more people into the subscription. So I think
Yeah.
like they're going to try to give an enticement to the people that don't have it, and the people that's the thing that I'm thinking. If they do buy tickets or whatever, all that stuff, it's like, what is the enticement? What are you giving me that no one else is giving me, other than a big screen and loudspeakers? You know what I mean? I know the good. You said you're muted, brother.
You're saying like if all things are equal, what's the difference between staying at my house versus going to the
Yeah,
theater?
because we talked about this before. We're like, you have a great sound bar at your house. You have a great TV, right? I have a good TV
I
and I
like
have
to
a good
think so.
sound bar. Was that?
I'd like to think so.
I like,
Yeah.
yeah, you like the, but you know what I mean? Like, we already almost have the
Right.
experience, not like fully, because like we're never gonna get a big old, unless we make an underground lair, dude. Me and you, and we, we have a
Right.
movie theater down there, but like we don't have that. So like we'll never get that experience, but we can get some great experiences at home. I think the difference is like what you said, is like not having the dogs bark and not having the kids crying, and it's like it's only you in the movie. And I think that's what I love about going to the theaters too. It's like the sweet escape. Like at home, I'm not escaping everything, because things still can happen here at the house. You know what I mean?
Oh, so you're flipping it. See, I would say people are thinking that the theater experience is worsening since pandemic, since since COVID. Like like people got into the mode of I can watch premium content on my television and I can do it in the comfort of my home versus going to the theater and having to deal with, crying babies or like people yelling or talking and ruining my theater experience.
I mean, it depends on which theater you go to, and
I guess it depends on the house too.
yeah, and it depends. There's so many things because like we always talk about front of the cast Lex. He started that whole thing with like, how's your theater experience, right?
Right.
And he always has a story. Something always happens to that guy.
Well, that's the thing, right? I feel like if you can isolate your experience to be a quality premium, like I think that's what Alamo Drafthouse is known for. Is like you got to be quiet and watch the movie. If you're like distracting people, they'll kick you out. And so, like that's the type of thing that people are wanting, right? Give me a great, like I just go, I enjoy my movie, I have some good food. I'm not interrupted. I'm not like distracted or, it's not disturbing me and I can just have a good time and then leave. Like, I think that's what people are wanting. And the more you can make it premium and like up the quality, I think the better. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I feel like
they just need like some sort of baby isolation chambers.
I feel like, no, I mean, I feel like it's like, I just looked up the tickets and I might be wrong, but it says $12.25 Monday through Wednesday, $15 for 3D weekend, Thursday, Sunday, holiday evenings after 6, $12.75, $16.25. So it's like cheap. At least from this like Bing search, but I don't know. I'd have to look. Go ahead.
You're telling me if you had Amazon Prime and Prime was to buy AMC or Amazon was to buy AMC and they were like, you could pay like $5 more a month and then you can go see any movie you want at our theaters, like at our Prime theaters. Like,
yeah, but like then it's kind of, yeah, of course, but it would incentivize you to get a second subscription because you have a wife. Or you're just going to go by yourself? You know what I mean? So that means that you're going to be paying whatever, I forget what Amazon Prime costs right now, plus those $5 times 2.
Well, they could
figure out what I'm saying. So
you're plan.
Yeah,
I'm sure they'd be like,
but like
add $10 or something.
AMC doesn't do that. A-List does not do that. Like you're a one account because they want to make the most money. The whole point of subscriptions is to get everyone to do a subscription. That's why Disney is doing this month. I don't know when, maybe in the 19th, 20th, they're going to crack down on people sharing passwords. Netflix did it. Their subscriptions went up.
True.
Disney Plus is doing it. Who else did it? Was it HBO? No, I forgot who else did it. Someone else did it, but they're doing it. The problem is well, there's two problems. Is like continuously keeping them on subscription and getting new subscribers. And now they don't have more subscribers because everyone's already subscribed. What the heck are they going to do? Do you know what I mean? So like now the next step for them is to sell you premium content somehow. Like they're going to have to sell you like, oh, if you want this movie a day early,
here's, you know what who's not paying? I was gonna say though, you know who's not paying for a subscription is
Pirates.
Is the kids. No, it's the kids, right? Like if you think about it, if you have one Disney Plus subscription, your whole family gets to watch, right? Whereas if you did have like that model with the theater, like you're right, the kids would have to get a subscription, the parents would have to get a subscription. So
because I talked to a friend of the cast, Ivan. He has a wife, he has 2 kids. He's like, hey, how much do you pay for A-List? I was telling him this is when I was paying for it. Monthly, and I was telling him this is what I do, and and the kids have to have that too, right? And I'm like, yeah, and I'm like, are kids a lot cheaper? And I'm like, I mean, maybe like a few bucks, but like at the end of the day, like he looked at it and it's like it wasn't worth it because it was like another expense of like how many subscriptions did he have to get to like watch a movie now and again? You know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah, yeah. There should be some sort of family discount for like
I mean, yeah, but like again, it's like money. Like right now, my daughter is free because she's 2,
right?
But eventually, I think when she's 3, if I'm not mistaken, I got to double check. But that's another $20 or whatever the heck the ticket is.
Or you just pay for that movie that she wants to see, and you don't actually get the subscription. You just buy one ticket.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but it's still like would be whatever that is at that time.
Yeah, now she's a member of society.
Yeah, there's like. There's like they try to incentivize you to go on certain days that are slower for them. Tuesdays, $5 tickets, or stuff like that. You're muted.
Or like early in the day, yeah. Like if you go like matinee, you get cheaper prices. Yeah, it's true.
But yeah.
Well, guys, we've reached the part of the show where I have to say again, if you guys have not, and you're thinking about it, which I know you're thinking about it, but you should probably subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Just gotta do that plug again. Ernie never wants to plug it, but I'm gonna plug it.
I always forget to plug it, but please, guys, ladies, gentlemen, friends of the cast here, if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and X, formerly known as Twitter, at
and
the
YouTube.
Watch and YouTube as well. Yeah, at Watch Closely Pod. There, I and Jason will be posting our rants, all kinds of cool stuff. It's cool. Like I can see myself talking, and I do the sweet little face I do. But yeah, sorry, I was gonna go on a rant about something, but never mind. I'm always ranting. I gotta stop.
Well, now I'm curious. Now you gotta tell us.
I was telling Jason he wanted me to work on these videos, which were like kind of like TikToks and reels for YouTube. And I recorded one, and I did it on something, and I recorded it so many times, and I hated it. Like it is more difficult for me.
It probably was good.
It probably was, but it's so difficult for me to record myself, like just talking to a camera than talking to Jason. It is difficult. It's hard. I talk a lot. Like I'm a talker. I can talk. It's easy for me for whatever reason. Recording, it's so much more difficult. I don't know why. I feel like maybe I should record those clips when I just do a live stream by myself, and then it'll just pop out naturally. But I'm like, it was too difficult for me. I don't know why, and I freaking deleted it, and I shouldn't have. But whatever, we were, things happen.
No,
yeah. But as always, friends of the cast, I would like to thank you for tuning in every week when we drop an episode. We appreciate it, and we appreciate you. Jason, please send us home.
Thank you guys for joining us today. Did you guys? Why am I saying a lot? I'm saying but if you guys like the Thursday streams, let us know, because we're trying to decide which day to stick to. We did Sunday last week. We did Saturday the week before. But we want to get to a time where it's good for you. It's good for all of us to kind of come and like hang out and talk movies together. So let us know in the comments, and definitely subscribe if you've not subscribed. And thank you guys. Appreciate all you guys' support. We've been having a lot of fun discussing movies this past couple weeks. Been great. Appreciate you, Ernie, for joining me. Thank you for all your notes. Did great with the show notes. And well, guys, we'll see you next time. You're welcome. We should probably play the outro music.
I know, dude. Oh my gosh.
All right, here we go. Any last words, Ernie? I see the chat. I appreciate you guys. It's been a fun one.
I don't know, man. I don't have anything else to say. I think I'm done. I would tell you the story about my daughter when she like is crying, and I'm like, "Are you okay?" And she continue to cry, and I'm like, "Are you okay? Or are you done like crying or whatever? Like, do you want something else or something?" And she'll go like, "I'm done. I'm done." She'll say, "That kid is sweet."
All right, guys.
Yeah.
See you next time.
Bye, guys.